Hey guys, and welcome to A Mortician's Tale. I have a mic now, so we have some A+ audio. I did stream this game before, but I wanted to do it some justice with some good audio. And I am using this voice because I'm very excited to have a working mic. So I have to use the mic voice, obviously. Either way, we're going to start a new game. This is a trigger warning for those of you who don't deal well with this stuff. There will be death and funerals and dead bodies and what you do with those dead bodies. Basically what a mortician does in their real job. And yeah, we won't do the one you can miss it. I won't do that one because I don't want to do it. So, all right, let's get started. Well, my boyfriend opens his pods, and you can hear them in high quality. Let's go. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. Also, I just really like this game, and I want to give it some love. Alright, we're going to be reading all the stuffs. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet ya. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to ya, and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. My dog barks. I'm sorry. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come in by a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello and welcome to our new funeral director. From Amy Rose to Rose and Daughters staff. Also the good branding. It's A+. Hello, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little bit better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder directors of Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office or preparation room, you'll find the cremation station, Cremulator station, Embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. I guess my subject line... Oopsie. Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe, you. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get you your replies so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. I guess it's just not something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, look more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, ON, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face, and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a Funerals monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of your gift. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Jen L. Museum Creator, London Pathology Museum. Let's read this one. From Funeral Monthly to subscriber. Tips for good etiquette at a funeral. Thanks for subscribing. Each month, we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this definitely is one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that. But here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Number 1, don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. Number 2, don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Number 3, don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful with the grieving family and friends. Number 4, happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. And number 5, there's a few more actually. What? There's no 7. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple, "I'm thinking of you," can go a long way. Number 6, dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but also dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Number 8, give a gift to sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can be even just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through their healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. Can't see over my new mic. About Rose and Daughters. Rose and Daughters Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family's business for the last 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this hard time. Our services. Here at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home, we're committed to providing loved ones with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. We offer a diverse range of personalized funeral services options to fit every need. So prices. We're not going to read those. We also offer custom packages to suit every budget and need. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions. Hello, Charlie. Today's tasks. Hope you settled in so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Special request for my mother's funeral. Dear Mia, of course we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure a funeral director receives your request. Take care. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and Daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations. But if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would greatly appreciated. And we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment. And since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for everything you do to help us in this matter. Sure thing. I was going to close it. Oopsie. Okay. I like how pretty this game is. It's very calming too, though it's about death, but still. This is the prep room, where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are to just clean the body. Talking fancy makes me thirsty. Click on the sponge and drag it to clean the body. We just hanging out. That's it. You're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take the care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased body, but also important to pay your respects to the loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Can I go back to my computer real quick? Please? I was kind of hoping this would be a longer game. It's not very long, though. Close. Wait, no. Oh, okay. Well, dang. Let's go. I really want to talk like this. I'm trying not to, though. It's a good mic. It doesn't need me to work hard for it. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. We usually don't small talk a lot of these things. At least that's what I always was taught. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or in the sewers. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. October 11th, 10 a.m. Okay, I am so frustrated right now. So, just let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inward from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with oh my goodness, visceraptoritis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but it can also be caused by being pregnant. So, TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do the kind of internal damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet am treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Love, Jen. Did you hear my cough in high def? Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse. So it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried about you damaging your body. You know what corsets do to your livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condensation is hurting my head. Sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I'm cooled off a bit. I need to read them the other way, but I haven't. Wrong button, sorry. Hi, Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral and embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Best. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew. He knows. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So, what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way, and I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier on all of us. Best, Mia. Just passing this message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around the town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff. Messed me and friends up real good. But, so, the big day. We all get there our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we are in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know how to not get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyway, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who just got their phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in the way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or they're gone fully on the deep end. And she laughed as she laughed. And we all started giggling because, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that, I guess. I just remembered that story and wanted to tell you because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture? We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is typically colored for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. I don't know how to say that word. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the #1 rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. A lot of white on the screen. It's hurt my eyeballs. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. In order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue onto each eye. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the lotion all over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Embalming is the worst. I'm gonna need a tube. We stick the tube in there, tube in that guy. No, wrong one. This one. Now you need to connect the embalming machine to the what? Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the... Okay. There we go. Ew. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. Blood just freaks me out. And then we sew it back. Almost done. You need to drain the organs of any remaining fluid. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, one minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long, like when I'm staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird. How our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but, like, definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Humming to himself. Pay our respects, and then we're out of here. December 2nd, 10 a.m. It's like the music that I forgot to turn up from my last game. The cat lady is very loud, so I have to keep it pretty low. Oopsie. I still want to lean into the mic, I'm sorry. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Oopsie. 1 second, please, lady. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. Passing this lovely thank you note. Meeting cuties for death-positive cuties. Meet cutes for death-positive cuties? Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate it when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried about you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's hard for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothic aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom ran over. I'm going to try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting the other people find teratomas? Charlie, I don't know. I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is also as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile, or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet. Love, Jen. I don't like the looks of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom-and-pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Paycheck coming late. Sorry. Hey, Matthew. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I could cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you won't happen again. Alright. LGBTQ Funerals. Respect. If you've been a longtime subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their family and had their hair cut and buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use the symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or those other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survived the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean you're not dealing with 2 people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is always to assure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. I'm telling you, the white light hurt my eyeballs. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process is not to damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. We need to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round circle. Great! Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. This is the Cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the Cremulator, we'll break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in this cremulation. Click and drag the bone fragment and drop them into the top of the cremator. I didn't mean to throw that one. Now that the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back onto the counter. All done, Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. I like this game because it shows, I don't know, I'm afraid of death, but when I know things about it, it makes me less afraid, if that makes sense. I feel like knowledge is the absence of fear or something like that. This is nice, in a weird way. She liked that we're all here together, talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Glad she was cremated, not like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. February 14th, 10 a.m. Okay, let's see. We'll start from Jen. Charlie, I've been playing a new game where things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like a Minesweeper, but way harder. Like seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick up the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. So I didn't know about this on my stream. I'm very excited. Ghosts! Okay. Oh god! Okay, so it changes. No! Okay. Weird. Let's try. Interesting. We're gonna get this. Man. I don't know what the symbols mean, though. Dang. No! But what do they mean? Okay. Dang it. I don't understand. Sorry, I'm leaning into it. Dang, okay. I haven't played Minesweeper, so I don't remember anymore. This is just blind. No! Okay, wait. I don't know if I got to the high score or not. Well, I guess we'll find out, huh? God, it's so bright. Yeah, let me back up. There. Hi, Amy. I am so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now. But I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough, with work and the will, and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we usually get emails like this when people who don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some other people. Usually, I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. You asked if there's any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He had a pacemaker, too. The doctor told me that you need to be removed. Hi, Charlie. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Alright. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You have lived your life mindful of the environment, doing what part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least, that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and have focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that could damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore or preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals from embalming help protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We're here at Funerals Monthly, think green burials are cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. What do you guys think? Let me know. The green burials kind of freak me out. There's like a water burial, freaks me the most out. Am I being distracting? My sick voice, keeping distracted. Hey guys and welcome. I can't do it all the time though. Also, it's like white on purple. My eyeballs burn. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode in the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. We're going to scalpel him. We're going to grab it. Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out. There we go. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification cat, and then toss him in the little cremation station. Alright, so we put the little thing here. Also, I'm not trying to be super aggressive, it just does that. All done. Amy will now take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Way to go, Amy. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was so nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. That's really sad. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No. We talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. Ouch. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you that time we tailgated? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. Everyone's got such a different energy at every funeral too. I like how they show that. February 28th, 10:35 a.m. Hi, Amy. I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Thought I'd pass this along to you. Welcome back. Now we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice, what not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give out specific advice. Some things will be more comfortable to other people. But fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who's grieving. So here it is, Funeral Monthly's top 5 things not to say at a funeral. Number 1, at least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this, and it's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk and just don't say it. Number 2, were they saved? No religious statements, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not comforting, it can also be insulting. They're with the angels now. See above's note, then rinse and repeat. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied in any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. Mushrooms! You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that is deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e., mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil or for plants. I think this one company even offers a casket liners to use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll just be like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know what your thoughts. I want all your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, it's probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead. Am I right? Disregard her son's will as it concerns the matter of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront the situation. Yet anyways, they're never easy. Rosen Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advanced directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable in the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Is this something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know if you... And we're not going to do that one. I can't do it. No, I'm not comfortable. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. We're going to go boop-a-doop. I like how she doesn't get any backstory. All right. I think they fixed this because this was harder when I streamed it. Oh, this is the right one, right? Oh, the tubing first. All done. Mike will take care of Mrs. Rossi's makeup as well as dressing and putting her in her casket. She's no longer suffering or in pain. Yeah. She's in a better place now. She was too good for this world. Okay. Thanks, Aunt Sandy. Where is Maria? She couldn't be here. She didn't want to see her mother's body. I mean, I don't blame her. Anyway, I'm pretty impressed with the food. Did you try their Amorarity? Doesn't look like her at all. Quietly sobs. I haven't cried since she died. Not once. How is Anna crying and not me? I'm the one who lost a parent. Yeah, that is weird. At my mom's funeral, I didn't cry, but at my friend's funeral, I did. So, I think it just kind of hit you. March 3rd, 10:45 a.m. I also got allergies. I feel like that's part of my headache. Y'all don't care. We're here for the game, but still. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprise, Inc. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes and will expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap? Ugh. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have any much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in and now we have to deal with their BS practices? They're colder than the corpse we picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, maybe be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with a death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed, up until burial. The body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic communities organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religiously focused. I was trying to say forced. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often, but there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expense of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones or of Famadihana, a ritual by the Malaysia people of Madagascar? Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth, prefer dancing with bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and a way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. You're invited to attend a death cafe. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from the 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and You can even see the bit of paper the surgeon put in it after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. Where is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with the feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe place. Come increase awareness of death with the view of helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and a cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. That's a cool name for a cafe, though. The Upside Down Jar. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it's more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Charlotte, below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the question specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you by the end of the month. I just realized we don't ever talk, really. Like, in the emails even. Prepare Miss Lowensko's body for cremation. Remove her watch. Add the identification tag. Woo! We're done. We can put her in the oven. Cremation station, sorry. I like the names for them. Cremation station and the Cremation station, I believe. Should we do a visual at this spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. It's been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we could do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. It must be Leah. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No. Thanks, I mean, but no, I don't know. It's so intimate. It feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah. Yeah, she was special. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. I'm pretty sure someone already said that to us. Maybe that's just a thing people say. I don't know. I have a few family members that are cremated, but I didn't go to their funerals. Only went to one cremation funeral. March 24th, 10:30 a.m. I think we're starting our days later and later is what it's saying, but I don't know. Our services. We offer many packages fitted to suit every size of gathering and budget. Ask us about our selection of caskets, urns, and headstones, the largest in the country. Rose and Daughters is the newest funeral home to join Hillside Heritage, proudly serving 56 different communities nationwide since 1964. Rose and Daughters features several available packages for burials and cremations, a spacious visitation suite for added comfort, and catering available on site. Rely on our dedicated and friendly staff to help you with your funeral needs, whether you need our immediate assistance for a loved one or would like to pre-plan your own final arrangements. Home funerals. Why do it? The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays, people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. But isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved ones yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it is important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book, but just know that this is maybe an option available to you and your loved ones if so choose. There's a couple typos, so they messed me up, but it's not a big deal. I'm not good at spelling. I get it. Dr. Zarius. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. Oh, you can see my mic now. Hello, Charlotte. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this is the beginning, but we all do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you and ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Sorry, he said it twice, and that's what I was looking at. Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and codes of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while at any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this is no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e. always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner, Catering Concepts, provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality service Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated is known for. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry ever. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, As I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte, although Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost-effective of the two options. The first unclaimed body will be handled belongings to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for the cadaver aside from cremation. I'll take care of it, boss. Don't worry about me. Tattoos thing's kind of weird, though. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would damage during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin with him. He looks so happy. I'm sad. I don't know. He just looks like just a dude. This gentleman is all set to be cremated now. I'll check the audio and see how loud I am, because I'm worried I'm going to be too loud with the mic, because I could see myself hitting the red. So, my bad. I should be able to set the audio, though, if I need to. Oh, look, they're all normal looking now. I didn't notice that last time. All done. Matthew will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present alongside some flowers. I have an allergy headache. This makes me sad. April 9th, 10 a.m. The good news is, the mic says I'm not supposed to talk to it up top, only the side, but my desk is so high, I can't even talk to it over above. Alright. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Water cremation. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide, or perhaps more commonly, resuscitation. Its technical name, though, is actually alkyne hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here, and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious among us. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkyne in water heated up to very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. The excessive water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory. And alkyne hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some place became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. I kissed her. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she likes it. The coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's Possession, was a really good movie by the way, and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. The only problem is I thought it was going to be funny, and it was not funny. It was more like upsetting. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried about you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like that last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of a Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? You know you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. Charlie, it's official. I'm putting my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about it myself. But you I worry about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week and we talk more freely. Hello all! We are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us to access all of their cadavers that come through their you know what I mean, and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley's hospital, which takes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Incorporated, bright and sustained future. Dear Mr. Grant, sorry, let's backtrack. Doop, 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 doop. Home funeral for my wife. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding of the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden. We don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you, the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Dear Mr. Grant, okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for your consideration of this hard time. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That's part of your job. Sure thing, I'll get right to it. That's her respond to everything, I've noticed. The deceased family has asked for an open casket. Let's start by cleaning the body. My cat's tearing up stuff on the other side of the mic. You hear that? Yeah, that's her going to town. We have a little footstool that I put all my records in, and she just rips it to shreds. I guess I don't need to shave her face. My bad. Insert eye caps into eye clap slot. Boop. Put glue on eye cap. Boop, boop. Put cotton balls in the mouth. Boop. Sew the mouth. That's the part that freaks me out the most. Moisturize the body. Bloop. Make an incision in the neck. Put a tube in the hole. Double tube. Turn on the machine. Massage the body. So the incision closed. I'm sorry I'm not a high energy person, by the way. I want to be, but then that wouldn't be me. All done. I believe we're almost done, by the way, so thank you for your patience. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah. But I don't know. They must have had their reasonings. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. What do you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I heard that show is so good. I saw that video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Karaoke? Yeah. I don't know what it is about the text. It's hard to read. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked. I know, honey, but what the chat guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. Dang, dude. Who would have thought a funeral game would be a bummer? I'm like, dang, why am I so sad? And then I'm playing this game. My bad. It's a good game, but it's a sad game. I mean, good sad, you know? Don't mind my dog. The cool thing is I can mute my mic now, so you don't have to hear my dog bark as much. I mean, he's still trying to bark, though, so. Congratulations. Dogs be barking. We'll turn this down for the end. Pip, stop. No matter what time of day it is, by the way, he barks, so. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there is anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. Hey, Charlie! When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I, respectfully, disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I had said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe you can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing ya, Jay. Congratulations on your new business. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I thought our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new space. Always, Jen. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in one of my million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1. All right. Magnolia Forest. Are we here? Yes, okay. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home, specializes in at-home funerals. And green burials in our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families, encourage them to have a closer relationship with death and the dying process. The death of a loved one can be a confusing and sometimes traumatic time, and we want you to feel fully involved in your loved one's death care decisions. Whether you're looking to care for your loved one from the comfort of your home, be present during their cremation, or bury them in our natural cemetery. Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple but intimate and meaningful options. Our natural burial park allows the body to return to the earth and recycle naturally. It is intended as an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Families also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves if they so choose. So it's much different, much more loving, I guess. And we get to show our tattoos again, which is important. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. And that's where we leave her. In an unexpected way of burial, but I think it's wholesome. And those are real. The pods, you can do that. A Mortician's Tale, a truly glorious 1 hour and a half. I hope this wasn't too much of a bummer. It makes me feel good knowing things, so. Yeah, it's one of those games that's like short, but I feel like it's short and sweet. Like it wasn't too long, had a storyline, you know, all that. So, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for watching this with me. I hope you like the better audio. Sorry about my dog barking. And, aw, pets. I didn't think about that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. I'm trying to upload every day of October. We'll see if I do it. But, a memory of Elaine, Emily, and Camille. Emil? Thank you for playing. I love when they do that. But yeah, so y'all take care of yourselves. Take a break, you know. And see you guys next time. Bye.